The following program may contain language of an adult nature. Listener discretion is advised. The following program may contain language of an adult nature. Listener discretion is advised.
Oh man, hold on, wait a minute. This is some bullshit.
They're canceling the fucking show?
Yeah, they're planning on dropping us after 7 years.
That's bullshit. You still got people that listen and like the show.
Well, guys, you had a good 7-year run. What more do you want from us?
You're like a goddamn Oreo cookie. You taste like shit but swathed in the center.
Okay, goddamn it. Our hands are tied, okay? Yeah, you're goddamn right, your hands are tied. Jerkin, pass me the duct tape, motherfucker. Wait a minute. What are you doing? Tape them together. Yeah, motherfucker.
You know what? I think I kind of like this.
Yeah.
Tie it a little tighter. Tighter.
Yeah.
Maxwell Silverhammer, G.J. Jerkman, Cruise Control, and G Motors.
Smell fire? I think somebody lit a cigarette. Nope, it's the hottest radio show on the internet. So keep it locked here from 7 to 9. STIM radio fam. They ahead of their time. And now it's lesson 1, man, this is lesson 2. No format because they keep it fresh and new. And this is what I call a real show. They tough as hell with a hard edge like a steel top. They campaign like a bass head. So if you mad at them, call in, fuck some hate mail. And if you think that the jocks sound quirky, allow me to introduce you to the shit that irks me.
Alright, you sons of fucking bitches! Welcome to the shit that fucking cocksucking irks me. I'm Maxwell Silverhammer, and I'm flying solo tonight. Completely solo. Not even Jerkman. Wow. That means I can talk shit about him. And he can't do a goddamn thing about it. You know, that's
I can still do something about it.
His mouth. You know how that goes. So, anyway, yeah, man. So this is it. I am flying completely solo tonight. This will be fun. Hey, that's what it is. But the cool thing is I'm on Skype. I'm at home, so I can Facebook chat with some people if they want to. I just put up a status, and hopefully you niggas see it. You know, that's the funny thing. The shit you always want people to see, they'll never, they'll never see. And then the stuff you don't want them to see, you know, they're all over. Or the stuff you just don't give a shit about, everybody just comments the fuck out of. So, you know, hopefully they see it. And they chat with me a little bit or like it or whatever. By the way, shout out to Robin. I see she liked the shit that I was coming on here. So, hey, shout out to you. Goddamn. Well, you know what? It's funny. 7 years ago today, July 24th, 2007, that was the day, if y'all remember, the infamous Evil Archive, where Shell was in the hospital and she completely flipped out because it was me and Regina, the board op at the time. And, you know, because I had to be fucking Regina. Never mind Regina was gay, but I was still fucking her, you know, because I fucked everything and everyone. And you know what? I had this power. I could wave my dick, and I could make everyone want to fuck me, you know, regardless if they're gay or not. You know, if you're gay, I'll just wave this magic dick, and, oh, man, you're all over it. And there it goes. So, anyway, yeah, it was me and Regina doing the show. Shell was in the hospital, and Shell called in, and she just didn't sound good. And I was like, look, you sure you don't want to just relax and get better and recuperate? You know, oh, no. And she got weird and started crying and, you know, accused me of not wanting her on the show and a bunch of other stupid fucking shit. You know, that's why, this is good. That's why if I start dating someone again, it's definitely going to be somebody who doesn't like the show. Because that's the way it goes, man. Which, speaking of that, you know, I was thinking about this. You know, when somebody says, you know, oh, you need to have things in common. They got to have things. You know, I think the more you have in common, the less likely your relationship's going to last. Because, obviously, if they're that interested in everything you're doing, they're going to want to be involved in everything you're doing. And it's not fun anymore. For me, I like to be able to, you know, educate somebody or tell something about something, you know, they didn't know, you know, or whatever. Just kind of lace them a little bit, lace their boots, you know. But, yeah, I don't know. For me, it's like the more, you know, people always I think they make that mistake. You know, the more that they think they have in common with somebody, the more likely the relationship's going to work. Where, you know, to me, that's like dating yourself. You know, I don't want to date someone who acts like me. Who's, goddamn. I mean, it just seems like people do make that common fucking mistake a lot, where, and they wonder why their relationship doesn't last. Like, look, man, don't you want to date someone who could teach you some shit? You could teach them some shit. They're not involved in every aspect of your life, caring about everything you're doing. I don't know. Maybe that's just me, I guess, but the whole thing of, well, we got to have everything in common and so much in common. That's, like, I know in these dating sites, they make the mistake, they claim it's so, foolproof and, this technology they've got, this matching technology. But, they never match you up with opposites. It's always somebody just like you. So, you're just like, or you get somebody who makes the false, has the false idea. And saying people have something in common is a very subjective statement. I've had people say, oh, we've got a lot in common. Well, case in point, that one chick I used to date, she used to always say that, oh, we have so much in common. And I'm thinking, we do? What the fuck do we have in common? I mean, I do my thing and what? Do yours? It doesn't really seem anything. By the way, if you're hearing, I don't think you're hearing this, but Jerkman is in the background. He just can't talk tonight because they're doing presentations and shit, some Charlie shit. So he's not able to talk. But if you do hear him coughing in the background, that's what the deal is. It's probably coming through my speakers. So, okay. So that's the main thing. See, Jerkman's talking and I'm ignoring him. No, I heard what he said. But anyway, yeah, but it's cool because I can shit talk him and he just won't be able to do a goddamn thing. And there won't be any Gary jokes tonight either. Yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, everybody thinks that, the commonality, we got to have stuff in common. If we don't have anything in common, we can't date, and it's like, I don't know, man. I mean, for me, I'd rather date somebody who's way different than me, who can turn me on. Because, what's my thing? Stepping out of the comfort zone. That's going to be, I've realized that's going to be the girl for me. Somebody who will make me step out of my comfort zone and do things I don't really want to do or don't like doing or I'm scared of doing or whatever, So, I mean, within reason, of course. But, I don't need somebody who's just like me. I mean, that's a recipe for disaster, I think. I know it's the common thought process that, oh, well, I got to date someone just like me and, who likes everything I like. And that's just fucking boring. If that's the case, I'll just stay single. Shit. I'm dating myself right now. So, I would rather date somebody who's, a little bit different, who has some different qualities than I have. And who likes different stuff, who could turn me on to some things. Or maybe not turn me on to them. If I don't like them, I don't like them. But, I mean, at least I learned to respect them, So, like, let's say it's somebody who's into classical music, I'm not into classical music, and believe me, I've tried. But at least I could get somewhat of respect and go, oh, that's my girl's music. She likes that kind of stuff, So I could respect that a little bit, as opposed to, this is some bullshit. So, I don't know. I want somebody who could turn me on to something new and teach me new shit, or that I can get them into new shit, And I don't know. It's a real fine line. But I guess the whole thing with having everything in common, and I think that was the problem with Shell and I. We had too much in common. Shell was a lot like me in some ways. You know what I'm saying? So that was, but see, she thought that was just such a great thing. Oh, that's great. We have so much in common. We're so much alike, and we finish each other's sentences. And, nah, not a good thing. Trust me. That's like saying, your good friend could live with you. And believe me, I tried that with cruise control. And, we're great friends. He's one of my best friends. But when he lived with me, shit. I mean, there were times he was ready to kill me and I was ready to kill him. So, yeah, we just, it's just those differences, or those similarities that actually wreck the relationship. It's not the differences. The differences are actually good. It adds spice to it, I think. Everybody's got this. Well, and it's that formulaic, everything's a robo-date thing. We got the date site mentality now. What do you do? I like to hike and swim. So do I. I like to eat Mexican food. Oh, so do I. I like to go, oh, we have a lot in common. We should date. You know, and that lasts a whole maybe 5-6 months if you're lucky, and then you're done. You know, and it's just like, I'm amazed I was able to stretch it out with as far as I did with Shell and I. But I think a lot of that was my doing because, you know, I thought, well, okay, here's somebody that cares about me, and you know, they're, you know, I had rides everywhere and meals cooked for me all the time and all kinds of other stuff. But at the same time, you know, it was like, oh, you know, I should have figured, you know, when we would argue all the time over bullshit, and you know, she had that little possessive streak in her, and I get that too sometimes. I'm not gonna, you know, I mean, but within reason, you know, I mean, there's a time, you know, where you have to bite it back and you have to go, okay, wait a minute, I'm overreacting here. This is too much, you know, just because the person didn't call you right away, you know, you kind of have to chill out and, you know, let everything happen and see where, you know, how the person reacts and whatever. You know, if it becomes but I know it's hard to trust people, you know, I got that. But at the same time, if you can't trust somebody, then guess what? You can't have a life with them, you know, because, you know, and that was the thing that always used to boggle me with Shell is, you know, you want to move in with me and live with me, but you don't even trust me when we're living apart. So what's going to happen when we're living together? Okay, yes, you can keep a better monitor on me, but, you know, who wants that? You know, I don't want to be controlled. You know, I don't want somebody up my ass all the time. So, yeah, that was no good. And, you know, and I do, you know, I get sensitive about shit sometimes, you know, where I get worked up and upset and like fucking, you know, oh man, you didn't, blah, 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 you know. So I have that side too, and, you know, I try to work on that a little bit because, you know, I know that, you know, that's a turnoff, man. So, you know, I try to be a little more, you know, when it comes to that kind of thing. Oh, you're going to go out tonight? Although, that I do like the occasional, you know, oh, you're going to go out with some friends tonight. You know, see, that's the other thing I noticed too. When, you know, women start dating me, you know, I become their life. And I'm like, why don't you go out? Go do something. You know, I do my thing. I hang out with my buddies. You know, I drink. I do, you know, and they're like, no, I don't want to. You know, and then so you're going, well, okay, well, I can't. You know, it's like when I had nigga night, you know, when I used to date Kaylee. And I used to get text messages all throughout nigga night from her. And it's like, why are you texting me? Let me fucking hang out with my niggas. You know, let me do my thing. If you're hanging out with your friends, I'm not going to bug you. So, you know, or, well, shit, she used to call me from work. And see, that's the other thing. Everybody wants a left-arm girlfriend or boyfriend, you know. They want somebody who's like, oh, you're going to go to the bathroom and take a shit? Okay, I'm going to go sit by the toilet and smell it as it comes out of your ass. So, you know, that's just too much. You know, I don't want to be a left-arm boyfriend. I don't want a left-arm girlfriend. You know, I don't need a lagaff, you know. It's, you know, you have somebody that's right there with you all the time, you know, doing everything you do, and it just gets fucking boring. You know, you need time apart. You need space apart. So, yeah, this whole thing of, you know, oh, we gotta like everything because that means we can do everything together. No, you know. And believe me, I made that mistake. You know, and okay, there's certain personality similarities, you know, that I would enjoy. But having said that, I don't want, you know, someone who likes every activity I do, you know, who wants to be a part of the radio show. And, you know, the radio show to me, this is therapy. You know, this is my thing. This is my deal. So, you know, and I, you know, again, this is where I kind of fucked up. I involved Shell in that, and I shouldn't have. You know, that's why it was kind of refreshing when Koala and I dated, and she told me she hated talk radio. So I was like, oh, perfect. Although I used to try to encourage her to listen just because I wanted her to get to know me a little bit, because I think I'm being the most honest when I'm on the air. So I'm not, you know, it's just, that's me 100%. You know, there's no corporacy, there's no cover, you know, I'm not like I am at work or, you know, around people in public or whatever. You know, I'm farting and belching and scratching my balls and picking my nose and doing all the shit that I usually do, you know, in my everyday life, telling you, you know, shit that I don't tell most people. So, you know, you guys ought to feel privileged that I'm sharing all this with you. But, yeah, this is my therapy, man. This is how I unwind. So I guess I don't want somebody a part of that, you know, and I see that all the time. where people will make the mistake. I got a lot of musicians on my friends list, and they make that mistake of involving their significant other in their music. Oh, she's my manager now. She's going to be my my promoter, and I'm having her do that. No, that's a recipe for fucking disaster. It's just going to cause issues. It's kind of like Jerkman and fucking, Bentley. I mean, it was too much, man. It was like, oh, God, the person was just there all the time and a part of everything all the time, which that reminds me of something else, which I'm going to get into here in a little bit. But, yeah, the commonality, everybody makes that mistake that the more someone has in common with you, the better they're going to be for you as a mate. And really, that's not the case. If anything, they're probably going to be worse for you because it's like dating yourself, like another you. So that's my feeling on that. And maybe people like that. I personally, for me, that's not what's going to work. Again, my thing is stepping out of the comfort zone. Are you willing to step out of your comfort zone for me? And am I willing to step out of my comfort zone for you? So yeah, that's why I say, man, you gotta be. That's why most of the women, if you don't, well, I mean, you guys don't, really know the person. I mean, you've seen and heard a little bit, but the women that I've really been into, you notice are nothing like me, they just, their personalities are totally different. Like for instance, Koala was into, horses and animals and, that kind of thing. And she was a social worker. Well, that we had a common, there was an interest in that, because I'm into the human psyche anyway, so that's just my thing. But that's what I'm talking about, though. It's okay to have a few common interests, to meet in the middle, but to have some other, goddamn, people want to date the same religion, people who like the same food, who like the same music. Music for me is a big thing. And if you, honestly, and people have made this mistake with me a lot. They'll tell me, oh, yeah, man, I got this chick for you, man. She loves rap. Oh, no. I'm serious. I will not date. If I find out a chick likes hip-hop music, I lose interest. That's just my thing. I'm like, no, sorry. And, especially if it influences their personality. But for me, that's a big thing for me. So if I find that, yeah, a chick's into hip-hop or knows a lot about hip-hop, that kind of blows it out of the water for me. So, and it's, yeah, I've actually had, a situation where somebody that I was really digging, and she told me she liked a lot of hardcore rap. And I'm like, oh, no, sorry. So my interest just went, Beow. So to me, music is important because obviously that's your identity, and even if you're not trying to live that lifestyle or whatever, you still like that music and it's a part of you. That's what I think, at least. Music is major. So, I try to find women that aren't into that kind of music. And, that's kind of one of my first questions. What kind of music do you listen to? And that's kind of why I was interested in the one chick that Jerkman brought in, because I don't think she liked that kind of music. So I was like, oh, that's fucking cool. So, it is what it is. But, the commonality thing, it's everybody thinks, oh, well, I need someone that I've got something in common with and, who's just like me, who likes everything I like to do and, it's up my ass all the time. So, all right, and granted, I'm no authority here, okay, but I'm just kind of giving you what I feel works for me. And, if that's not your thing, then, hey, that's all right. But for me, I'm just saying, what I feel works and what I've known to work, with other people. I find when people have somebody that's just like them, it's just like, it's kind of boring and, they got to spice things up all the time and it's just not fun. So anyway, but yeah, and then also I want to, speaking of butthurt, I got a little follow-up with my work situation, and I want to get into that in a little bit, but I believe the segment's got another 8 minutes or so I don't know how much time I've got to jump into this bitch. But anyway, we'll just keep running, man. But yeah, maybe I'll just jump into it now. Oh, and let me say this too. You know, a lot of people think that when I talk about them on my show, it's fodder for the show. You know, it's material for the show. You know, I'm not making fun of people when I talk about them. You know, I'm just venting. You know what I'm saying? So I'm throwing that disclaimer out there now. It's just a venting thing. I'm not, you know, smashing on anybody or trying to publicly humiliate them or make them look stupid. Or, you know, a lot of times that's why I don't use names. You know, unless I use a name. You know, if I say your name, then, yeah, I'm kind of pissed off and I don't really give a fuck about humiliating you. But if I just, you know, talk in general, you know, and say somebody at my work or, you know, somebody at this event, then I'm just venting. Because, again, this is my therapy. So I'm just kind of putting that out there. So it's not something where, you know, oh, yeah, this is fodder for my show, man. This is my way of making you look stupid. Ha, 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 ha. You know, and there's the other thing. You know, going back real quick to the women, you know, I've had some women that got mad. There's another thing that I've talked about things on the show. And it's like, well, this is what you get when you're dating a radio show host that talks about things that piss them off. You know, yes, sometimes you may be the thing that's pissing them off. You know, deal with it. Are you strong enough to be my woman? You know, it's like Sheryl Crow said. So, because, you know, I had, as you all know, a couple of years ago, I had a situation where I met somebody on a dating site and they said something and, you know, that I talked about it on the show and they got mad. You know, I wasn't being disrespectful about it or anything, but I was just talking about it. And she said, well, it upsets me that, you know, our private conversation ended up in a public forum. Well, that's it. I speak in a public forum. It's what I do, you know. And that's where I'm like, okay, next, you can't deal. I'm not changing the show up for you. I'm not going to walk on eggshells. I'm never doing that again. So understand that, you know, and going into it, that's one big rule that you're going to have to fucking abide by is, and people say, well, you know, you're expecting someone to change for you. No, I'm not. I'm not expecting it. Hey, see, that's it. You know, I'm not expecting you to change. I'm expecting you to be yourself. So if this bothers you, then, well, I guess we can't date then. So I'm going to let you go on your merry way. You know, you don't have to change anything. So, you know, if, you know, me talking about something we talked about on the air upsets you or bothers you, then, well, we can't date. Sorry, that's just the way it is. You know, oh, but then you lost a relationship. Well, you know, it happens that way. Sometimes you lose a relationship because guess what? That person's not going to work. You know, would you rather try to fucking force something that isn't going to work? And every time I talk about, you know, something we talked about on the air, it you know, turns into a fucking nuclear holocaust or whatever, you know? So, yeah. So anyway, we're actually going into commercial. So, fuckers, when I come back, and now that I threw out that goddamn disclaimer, yeah, I'm not making fun of anybody. I'm just talking about a situation, you know, that I've been telling you about at work. So, yeah, when we come back, we are going to talk about that shit. And you'll hear the follow-up. It's interesting.
He was a young white kid from the suburbs who had it all. Yo, Pops, when you gonna paint my motherfucking Bentley and shit? Sorry, son, I'll get to it. It's just been very hectic down at the office. But he wanted something more. Yo, I wish I could be a G, dog. He wanted to come from those mean streets and be a G like his compadres that he looked up to. Yo, man, if only I could have a GAC, dude. I'd bust the most caps out of any G. Then he met Jay Fucker on MySpace, where he learned to rock up that crack cocaine with the dopest of OGs from the street. Yo, we gonna hit the track right now, and we gotta slang these hover rocks to these motherfucking fiends, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, dude, can I roll with you, dog? Can I roll in your 6'4"? It's a tale of urban struggle. Yo, you gotta do what you gotta do to survive out in this bitch, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, dude, I can dig it. It was a tale of romance. Hey, dog, you mind if we sleep in the same bed? Gerald Jisenbag and Harold Hardcock give it 2 thumbs up. It's Black Cock Down.
If you're a fan of hip-hop and R&B, join me, the Bruh Ren, for a full non-stop hour of back-to-back slappers. Back-to-back slappers. Where the playlist spans from genres like R&B, soul.
I love you. You are my girl.
Hip-hop bangers like
25 sitting on 25 mil, I'm in the building and I'm feeling myself. Rest in peace, Mac Dre. I'ma do it for the bay, okay? Getting paid, we'll holler whenever that stop. My team good, we don't really need a mascot.
Classic throwbacks like.
Well, I'm peeping and I'm creeping and I'm creeping, but I damn near got caught, cause my beeper kept beeping. Now it's time for me to make my impression felt. So sit back, relax, and strap on your seatbelt. You've never been on a ride like this before.
Every Friday night at 9 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. And Saturday at midnight Eastern Standard Time. Only on the Tough Love Show on J&J.FM.
Do you hate women that you can't fuck? Have you tried to rub your dick on some woman's foot and she turned you down?
What the fuck are you doing?
Well, if so, you need Game for the Mentally Lame. That's right. If you're a mental retard and women are trying to kill you with their Google cheesy leezy, then this is the book for you. That's right. Learn brand new pickup lines. Hey, baby, you see my face? Wanna hit on it?
No, I don't want to sit on your face, but I'd like to split your fucking lip.
Or you can also learn brand new ways of being smooth and romantic with the come-ons. Hey, how about we go have some choochie, and then after that, we can go to the rum runner.
Great, just what I've always wanted, my own drunken alcoholic retard. No thanks.
So see, the proof is in the tard. So get Game for the Mentally Lame for only $19.99 if you call now. Order Game for the Mentally Lame for all tards and those who can't quite get it. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Maxwell Silverhammer of the award-winning Shit That Irks Me. Now, usually, I'm joking and having fun and laughing, but in this case, I'm here to talk about something very serious. There's a phenomenon that's going on all over this country. It's called dimpling or dimple caking. That's right. There are lonely ass, poor, sorry sons of fucking bitches that have no friends, no life, and nothing really going on for themselves. So they need people to talk to. So what they'll do is they'll call your phone. And usually what you'll do, being the heartless son of a bitch that you are, you'll just let the phone ring and roll it into your voicemail. And then you sit there and you contemplate, oh no, I have to call this person back. I have to call this person back, knowing that there's quite the chore that's in front of you. What do? If you're the heartless son of a bitch that never calls them back, you need to stop now. You need to call that person back and do your dimple duty. That's right. It is your dimple duty to make sure that this person is happy and content and feels worth. That's right. This person needs to feel like they have some worth. So, do your dimple duty today. Thank you. I am Maxwell Silverhammer with a public service announcement.
Yee! What up, though? It's the undeniable JT Money, a.k.a. the Bitchizer, and you tuned in to STIM Radio with Maxwell Silverhammer and GJ the Jerk Man. Heavy that. And guess what? They hate hoes almost as much as I do. So don't sleep on these cats. And speaking of sleeping, don't forget to check out my new single, Hustling, from my new project, Morning Wood. It's going down heavy, baby. And speaking of being out, I'm out like a busted traffic like you already know. Get him, Jay!
Answer me this. When did having a lot of YouTube hits and hella MySpace friends begin to determine whether a rapper has good music or not? Let's be serious. You wouldn't trust half of these people to wash your car or your dog. But you gonna let these people determine what music you listen to? That's crazy. You gotta be a leader, man, not a follower. And check out that classic album by your boy Black Ice. 5.0 Reasons, 10th anniversary, 1998 to 2008. It's that classic Bay Area G-Funk and mob roots. Sample the entire album at cdbaby.com, rhapsody.com, Napster, and iTunes. Or just Google your boy Black Ice. That's Y-A-B-O-Y, Black Ice.
At last, the wait's finally over. Be Sick returns from a long hiatus with a brand new album entitled Mr. Zero Tolerance.
Available for digital download only.
Be Sick's no punches pulled approach on the mic gives listeners what they want, as well as gives the rap game a well-deserved kick in the ass, with such hard-hitting gems as the title track, Mr. Zero Tolerance.
Mr. Zero fucking tolerance, you fakes at your fun. My tongue's replacing the gun. My toleration is none. Fuck a buster and a bitch.
Or the laid-back, fun-filled street anthem entitled Change of Pace, featuring Ghost.
This is something to bump as a gift to the haters. So turn it up loud just to piss off your neighbors. And if you out rolling, you be getting a ticket. And if you
straight to the guts, blind to the facts.
Blind to the facts that your mind's in a trap. Blind to the facts that with time we adapt. Blind to the facts of what you don't understand. Blind to the facts by the media scams. Blind to the facts of what you read in a book. Blind to the facts of
Download your copy today of Mr. Zero Tolerance from www.cdbaby.com or go to www.cdbaby.com/cd/bsick2. Download your copy today. Keep the realness in the rap game.
We are anonymous, and you're listening to Maxwell Silverhammer.
Fuck that guy.
And DJ Jerkman.
Yeah, fuck that guy too.
Only on STEM Radio.
Damn, this shit really hurts me.
STIM Radio. STIM Radio.
Oh yes, bitches! Welcome back to the shit that fucking cocksucking irks me. Doing the Skype thing from home tonight. That's actually what we're going to be doing on Thursday nights, because I guess they're doing some presentations and things down there. So, you know, I can't be in there screaming and acting out and using profanity and all that kind of shit. So that's what it is. But so to address Jerkman's comment on, earlier when he was talking, I heard him, at the commercial break, and he said, he goes, yeah, I need to get a woman, man. I'm sick of this shit. I don't want to be a bitter old fuck. But you know what, man? You got to discriminate a little bit. Do a little discrimination. It's all right. Don't get like, oh, I need a woman, man. I need to have somebody now. If I don't, then, don't get, because that's the mistake I made, man. And believe me, you don't mean anything good when you're doing that. So anyway, yeah, that's my whole thing, like the Kaylee types and, all that kind of shit. So you remember I can hear Jerkman talking. He interjects occasionally from the peanut gallery. So anyway, all right. So going into my work thing here. All right, so the chair. So as I told you, I had this coworker that wasn't in the office the last couple days, but I asked her, I said, would you mind if we went and grabbed that chair, that they gave us originally and brought it back in the office? My assistant likes it better. He has a medical condition that he just seems to work better for him when he's sitting in that chair. So she, of course, said, well, let's talk about this. Well, I come in this morning, and she's all upset. And she's like, I feel disrespected. And I'm like, you feel disrespected? And she's like, well, yeah, because you asked me my opinion, and if it's okay if, we have the chair in here. And I thought we were going to talk about it first, but you guys already brought the chair back in, obviously undermining anything. Undermining, meaning, undermining our, supposed boss, right? Which this person isn't even our boss. So I was like, well, really, I don't see the problem with it. It's only a goddamn chair, And she's like, yeah, but, it's cluttered in here as is. And I said, well, that's not my problem. I didn't make it clutter. And I said, and she's like, well, if we take the chair back now, we're just going to look stupid. And I said, well, if you want, I'll take the chair back. And she's like, no, we can keep it because you guys brought it in here, and I feel totally disrespected, and that you guys stepped on my feet, and it's just I thought you and I had a good working relationship, and all this other bullshit. And so I said, well, anyway, make a long fucking story short, it went back and forth over this whole deal, and with the chair and the cart and all that bullshit. Well, basically what we did is we wound up moving this cart that's just kind of sitting there, taking up space, in their office, into my office, and we moved the chair to the corner, and it's actually pretty fucking nice. And a lot of people are going to... See, that's the thing. People bitch about stuff all the time. Like I had this couch, or like a love seat that was sitting in here for a long time. And everybody thought it was an eyesore. And, it hurtsifies my eyes. And that's part of the problem, too. Sighties always have their little eyesores and their little bullshit. And, she's like, well, if you had a problem with something I was doing, I wish you would have told me. And I said, actually, I do have a problem with something you were doing. And I mentioned the whole locking the door thing because she's got this paranoia now because there was a burglary. Remember I told you guys a few months ago, one of the offices in our building, somebody broke in, or didn't even break in, but they went to the break room to get coffee real quick. And when they came back, their laptops were gone, their purses were gone, all this other shit. And the person had just stolen right out their door. And so now she's totally paranoid. And she's like, we have one computer that's a workstation that's just a laptop, and, I don't want somebody walking out with it and all this other bullshit. And so she made this executive decision to lock the door all the time. Well, that's a pain in the fucking ass. I'm sorry. When I go up the hall just to go get some water or just go use the bathroom, or even to go have a chew for, 10, 15 minutes, I don't want to have to, pull my keys out every time, unlock the goddamn door. It's a pain in the ass. It's stupid. I'm at work. Or here's another thing that fucking annoys me. When somebody, like one of the building managers has to talk to me, or one of the people, because I got friends in the building, and, sometimes they come to my office because they want to bring me something, or they want to tell me something, or whatever, like Bobcat or one of them. Now they got to knock on the door. I don't like that. I mean, what are we, in prison? We got to unlock the fucking door. So I said, it's like you're decreed to lock the door. I said, that's a pain in the ass. Well, she fought me on that. So it's like, okay, so because we, see, this is the thing. This is what you have to do with office bullies is you have to bring the thing that they don't want, and, let them get mad. There's nothing they can do, especially if they're not your boss. Because a lot of times, I'm finding more often than not, it's not your bosses that are the problem. It's your coworkers that think they're your bosses. And that's what this person is. This person thinks they're in charge of the office. So when we brought the chair in, it totally undermined. It was like, fuck you. And believe me, I wasn't like to do a fuck you, but it was to let them know, hey, we're not bending over to take the dick. We're going to do what we're going to do, and this chair works for him, and it's only a goddamn chair. Get over it. It's kind of like how some people are allergic to perfume or colognes. So what do? If somebody's complaining that they're allergic to perfume and cologne, I have a coworker in our hub office who actually is allergic to perfume and cologne. And if you spray it on, it makes her sick, and she starts coughing. So that's a medical issue. So in this case, with my assistant, needing a specific kind of chair, to lean back in or whatever, if it works for him, even if it is psychological, hey, it's a small fucking accommodation. That's all it is. And she was like, he's a temp. He only works 20 hours a week. And how does he's running, how does she put it? He's running rim shot over the roost or trying to run the roost or something like that. And I'm like, oh, somebody's a little intimidated. So, and it's funny because she's accused him of being intimidated of women. And really, it's not that, I think she may be intimidated of him because of his age. So that might be an issue for him because, like my other assistant was like 60-something. So, she didn't give a shit either way. Where, Colin's like, hey, fuck this. I'm not letting somebody shit on me, and he's like, I've been bullied all throughout, being a kid. He's like, I'm not letting somebody bully me at work. Fuck that. So we brought this chair in, and, she felt disrespected because we brought the chair in without asking her Highness I's permission first. And so we just put it, and it was funny because the compromise we reached is really cool, I think. Like I said, we decided to move that stupid cart that was sitting there, taking up fucking space, and doing absolutely nothing, into my office, where it's off to the side, it actually kind of helps me a little bit. If I want to put shit on it, I can, So it works good for me. And we put the other chair, the big chair, in the corner. So now people can sit down and talk to you, I mean, we do have people, but then she went into the whole thing of, well, it just doesn't have, our office doesn't have the aesthetic look that an office should have. And then it hit me. I said, you know what? What's bothering her is, partially, yes, because we quote unquote undermined her controllatry, but also that we broke her facade, so in her mind, she wants to have this mentality, oh, yes, I'm working in this plush office and ha-ha, and it looks cutesy-belushy and fucking, all the decor in here is matching and beautiful, so of course we bring in this chair, this fucks up her whole facade. So a lot of times when people get mad, it's kind of funny. When people get mad about things, it's about things that affect their pretend life or their self-perception rather than everybody else's. Most people wouldn't give a shit, I don't think. Most people that would come in the office, I don't think would have a bitch or a gripe, And, then she mentioned our bosses, and I'm like, they don't give a fuck. They come down here maybe once every year, and what do they care? And, obviously we don't even have half the shit we need sometimes. So, but, anyway, yeah. So it's affecting her facade. It's affecting her pretend life. So a lot of times, yes, people get upset, not because it affects them in real life, but affects them in pretend life and affects their, pretend image that they think everybody has of them. When really, it's just them. It's in their mind. Like I say, a lot of the battles you fight are in your brain, and they're not actual battles that are real. So that's what this is. This is just, we're fucking shitting on her facade, her idea that she comes to some office and has this plush posh fucking, oh, yes, all the decor is matching, and because she did mention that. She was like, this doesn't fit the aesthetics of the particular office and all this other bullshit. And it's like, well, see, so this is your imaginary or your self-perceived bullshit. So it's kind of like, and this is where I was going to go earlier with Jerkman and Bentley and everything. Bentley didn't leave because she was unhappy. Bentley left because her facade wasn't, it doesn't work with her facade. So in other words, she thought of herself as this celebrity, even though she wasn't a celebrity, but she thought of herself as one, and in her mind was a celebrity. So, but yet the lifestyle that y'all were living wasn't the lifestyle of a celebrity. What I'm saying? It was far from that. And she didn't like that because it wasn't fitting with what she was believing herself to be. So that was the whole problem. So yeah, it wasn't that she left that she was unhappy or Jerkman was doing anything wrong or anybody else was doing anything wrong even. It was that, hey, she wasn't living, her idea of being a celebrity is you can come and go as you please. You live in your penthouse suite and then fucking, in New York or wherever the fuck it is. And you take private jets everywhere and go on cruises every weekend and live the lifestyle that you wish. And that's what wasn't happening, So everything that was going on was contradictory to her idea of how celebrities are supposed to live. So that's why she had an issue. And same goes with this guy years ago, I think I've talked about him before, who was a professional gambler who lived next door to me. Well, he thought he was Mr. Mafia Vegas, and I know the fucking dealer over at the sports book, and I know this guy, and I know that guy. And he was always trying to talk like he was bigger than he was. Even when he would get upset when we play our music, he'd come over here and he'd make threats and say that he was some big time, big shit guy and, would say things like, don't you know who I am? And, well, you'll see when, at one time he threatened my roommate and said that, we'll see when you're in the hospital with broken kneecaps. And I'm thinking, hey, yeah, dude, who the fuck do you know that's going to break anyone's kneecaps? You're just a scumbag who lives in the fucking apartments. But he wanted to create this image that he was some big time, big shit fucking Mafia Vegas nigga, Sorry. Popping in a chew here. But, so he wanted to create this image that he was this big-time mafia, mob boss, whatever the fuck he thought he was. And in his mind, he was living in some, Park Avenue fucking penthouse, but with the rap music playing next door, well, that's totally contradictory to that lifestyle. So for him, it was breaking his facade. So he wasn't upset because he couldn't hear his TV or he was having trouble sleeping or concentrating or doing whatever the fuck he was doing. He was upset because it was actually it was damaging his facade, his fake image that he was creating for himself. You can't be in a penthouse suite and have niggas next door bumping rap music. That's just totally fucking contradictory. So that's why he had an issue with us and with the music and all that type of stuff. So again, that's why people get mad. It's not that, it's affecting something in real life. It's affecting something in pretend life, in your perceived life, your self-perception. So it doesn't allow for, you to live that, the life you want to live or the mindset you think you have, or where you are. So, yeah, so it's just kind of funny. A lot of times when people get set off like that, it's because of something in their pretend mindset, not in their actual real life. So that was her deal with the office thing. That number one, she perceives herself as a supervisor, and that people just fucking kowtow to her and, whatever you say, imagine vaginal blood, And, and again, I'm not saying any names, I'm throwing this out again, but it's a situation that pissed me off. So guess what? I should be allowed to talk about it, And even though it was a work thing, and I try to stay away from work-related shit, but hey, this person's not even a superior of mine. They're a coworker. And they think that they're a boss. And it's like, you're not the fucking boss. Sorry. I feel like a little kid. You're not the boss of me. So it was impeding on her mindset of, I'm the supervisor in this, posh office here upstairs. And, when really that's not even the case. It's just, her fake ass, whatever belief that she's living in that she's working in this office and the decor all matches. And even when she said that, she was like, they got us, the chair they got us doesn't even match. And I'm like, well, that's on them. It works as a chair, doesn't it? Then sit in it. Don't complain about it. But just kind of funny how somebody can take something so goddamn petty, and people say I'm petty, really? I don't bitch about shit like that. I might bitch about something that affected me, somebody flaking on me, somebody screwing, something that affected me in my real life. I don't live a pretend fucking life, and go around and that's it too. I think a lot of that is some psychological bullshit where, people aren't comfortable that, they're not happy with the real person that they really are. So they have to play a role in their mind and live a life in their mind that isn't real, just to get around whatever dumb shit that they're, trying to, and of course, when things happen like that, that sort of put a monkey wrench in their facade, then they're like, wait a minute, no, you're taking my, it's kind of like when you're a kid and you're building a fort, and some other kid walks by and kicks it over, because you have this idea that this fort is this strong fucking castle of Booglador, and, it can't be kicked over by anything, and, it's a fortress and all this other crazy shit, and then here comes a kid and kicks it over and it fucks with you. Because you're like, hey, wait a minute, why did that happen? So, you can equate things to very simple shit if you really think about it. It doesn't take a socket scientist, to figure these things out. So, but that was the issue with the chair. So needless to say, we won the battle on the chair, which I feel good about in a way. I mean, not that I care. It's not that to me, again, it's not that major of a victory, but I guess that's the thing too. It's so unmajor, it shouldn't be a problem. So the fact that we even have to fight about it is stupid, So anyway, yes, we are keeping the chair, and so good on fucking my assistant for standing his ground and bringing the chair back in. So just like I say, there's a lot more shit to be pissed off about. Like I said, the lock on the door I think is a little more major than, and her thing. And see, that's the other thing too. Her deal with I said, well, why do we have to lock the door all the time? Well, if I leave the office and somebody could just walk in here and steal some shit and you wouldn't know. Of course, because I don't know. I'm deaf too. You know that, right? I can't hear anything, And she's like, well, what if you have your headset on? And I'm thinking, I hear the door open. Trust me. This is a very small office. We're not, again, with the facade. You think you're in some big corporation, that I'm upstairs and you're downstairs or some weird shit. I don't know. I don't know what your perception is. But either way, you think that I'm in there going, blur, 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 I'm watching YouTube videos and doing dumb shit, and or that I'm just this dumb, incompetent blind fucker who has no clue what's going on moment for moment, and somebody could just come walk up and steal the pants I'm wearing right now. They just take them off me, and I wouldn't even know they took them. I have no clue. So, yeah, that's the other part of this too. That. I am smarter than you. I am more competent than you. There's all this bullshit going on too, where, and some of these people, they got master's degrees and they think that they're smart. And it's like, no, you just pimp your master's degree around like it's nobody's business, but you have no fucking life sense. You have no common sense, So, but of course, common sense is shunned nowadays, So, hey, you got that degree, you're Jesus in a bag, That's all it is too. So, but, she was, that was her thing. Then, of course, later, she apologizes, and she's had a stressful week, and she's having some personal issues, and she didn't mean to jump all over me, and all this other bullshit. And I'm just like, okay, So, and that's the thing, too. I think the words "I'm sorry" are too easy to use. Hell, I could take the shotgun out of the closet right now, stand here while I'm on Skype with everybody, and turn towards the window and just start shooting, And hey, if I kill a child, all I got to do is apologize. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to hit him. I was just, having fun. I was just discharging my gun while I was on the air, just having a little fucking, trying to give the listener some excitement, which is, I mean, how stupid is that? But that's it. People think that they shit all over everybody. And then the minute they apologize, oh, they're good. They have an easy out. Well, no, not necessarily. If you're treating people like shit, sometimes, and of course I accepted her apology, but at the same time, like I say, don't bring your work home. Well, don't bring your home to work either. And there's fuckers that do that, where all of a sudden their home life comes to work. I had another assistant that used to do that, where she would have problems at home in her personal life, and then bring them to work and take them out on, well, mainly me, And I was just like, hey, because you got problems at home, that shit shouldn't be coming in here. So we going to break? Okay. So anyway, I see that's Jerkman interjects little things occasionally, so that's why I was like, oh shit. But no, I think it's too easy to use the words "I'm sorry" and to use personal shit. For the reason for it. And that's why there's so much incorporations, too. People apologize. Oh, I'm sorry. You're supposed to just accept my apology all the time. No, not all the time. If you really fucked me over, then, no, I don't accept your goddamn apology. So, you know what? I have the right to do that, too. The same way you have the right to apologize, well, I have the right to say, sorry, I don't accept that. So, what was that? Oh, that's my Essence Smart shit popping up. And so, yeah, the fact that people want to, use "I'm sorry" so freely, like that's going to free them from any responsibility. Sorry, you still came in here and you acted like a bitch. You still snapped at me. You still fucking, tried to guilt trip me and tell me that, oh, I disrespected you and I hurtsted you. No, it's just a motherfucking chair. Get over it, Oh, yeah, bitches. So we'll be right back, fuckers.
He was a young white kid from the suburbs who had it all. Yo, Pops, when you gonna paint my motherfucking Bentley and shit? Sorry, son, I'll get to it. It's just been very hectic down at the office. But he wanted something more. Yo, I wish I could be a G, dog. He wanted to come from those mean streets and be a G like his compadres that he looked up to. Yo, man, if only I could have a gack, dude. I'd bust the most caps out of any G. Then he met Jay Fucker on MySpace, where he learned to rock up that crack cocaine with the dopest of OGs from the street. Yo, we gonna hit the track right now, and we gotta slang these hover rocks to these motherfucking fiends, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, dude, can I roll with you, dog? Can I roll in your 6'4"? It's a tale of urban struggle. Yo, you gotta do what you gotta do to survive out in this bitch, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, dude, I can dig it. It was a tale of romance. Hey, dog, you mind if we sleep in the same bed? Gerald Jisenbag and Harold Hardcock give it 2 thumbs up. It's Black Cock Down.
If you're a fan of hip-hop and R&B, join me, the Bruh Ren, for a full non-stop hour of back-to-back slappers. Back-to-back slappers. Where the playlist spans from genres like R&B, soul.
I love you. You are my girl.
Hip-hop bangers like
25 sitting on 25 mil, I'm in the building and I'm feeling myself. Rest in peace, Mac Dre. I'ma do it for the bay, okay? Getting paid, we'll holler whenever that stop. My team good, we don't really need a mascot.
Classic throwbacks like.
Well, I'm peeping and I'm creeping and I'm creeping. But I damn near got caught, cause my beeper kept beeping. Now it's time for me to make my impression felt. So sit back, relax, and strap on your seatbelt. You've never been on a ride like this before.
Every Friday night at 9 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. And Saturday at midnight Eastern Standard Time. Only on the Tough Love Show on J&J.FM.
Do you hate women that you can't fuck? Have you tried to rub your dick on some woman's foot and she turned you down?
What the fuck are you doing?
Well, if so, you need Game for the Mentally Lame. That's right. If you're a mental retard and women are trying to kill you with their Google cheesy leasy, then this is the book for you. That's right. Learn brand new pickup lines. Hey, baby, you hear my fake? Wanna hear on it?
No, I don't want to sit on your face, but I'd like to split your fucking lip.
Or you can also learn brand new ways of being smooth and romantic with the come-ons. Hey, how about we go have some choochie, and then after that, we can go to the rum runner.
Great, just what I've always wanted, my own drunken alcoholic retard. No thanks.
So see, the proof is in the tard. So get Game for the Mentally Lame for only $19.99 if you call now. Order Game for the Mentally Lame for all tards and those who can't quite get it. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Maxwell Silverhammer of the award-winning Shit That Irks Me. Now, usually, I'm joking and having fun and laughing, but in this case, I'm here to talk about something very serious. There's a phenomenon that's going on all over this country. It's called dimpling or dimple caking. That's right. There are lonely-ass, poor, sorry sons of fucking bitches that have no friends, no life, and nothing really going on for themselves. So they need people to talk to. So what they'll do is they'll call your phone. And usually what you'll do, being the heartless son of a bitch that you are, you'll just let the phone ring and roll it into your voicemail. And then you sit there and you contemplate, oh no, I have to call this person back. I have to call this person back, knowing that there's quite the chore that's in front of you. What do you do? If you're the heartless son of a bitch that never calls them back, you need to stop now. You need to call that person back and do your dimple duty. That's right. It is your dimple duty to make sure that this person is happy and content and feels worth. That's right. This person needs to feel like they have some worth. So, do your dimple duty today. Thank you. I am Maxwell Silverhammer with a public service announcement.
Yee! What up, though? It's the undeniable JT Money, a.k.a. the Bitchizer, and you tuned in to STIM Radio with Maxwell Silverhammer and GJ the Jerkman. Heavy that. And guess what? They hate hoes almost as much as I do. So don't sleep on these cats. And speaking of sleeping, don't forget to check out my new single, Hustling, from my new project, Morning Wood. It's going down heavy, baby. And speaking of being out, I'm out like a busted traffic, like you already know. Get him, Jay!
Answer me this. When did having a lot of YouTube hits and hella MySpace friends begin to determine whether a rapper has good music or not? Let's be serious. You wouldn't trust half of these people to wash your car or your dog. But you gonna let these people determine what music you listen to? That's crazy. You gotta be a leader, man, not a follower. And check out that classic album by your boy Black Ice, 5.0 Reasons, 10th anniversary, 1998 to 2008. It's that classic Bay Area G-Funk and mob music. Sample the entire album at cdbaby.com, rhapsody.com, Napster, and iTunes. Or just Google your boy Black Ice. That's Y-A-B-O-Y, Black Ice.
At last, the wait's finally over. Be Sick returns from a long hiatus with a brand new album entitled Mr. Zero Tolerance.
Available for digital download only.
Be Sick's no punches pulled approach on the mic gives listeners what they want, as well as gives the rap game a well-deserved kick in the ass, with such hard-hitting gems as the title track, Mr. Zero Tolerance.
Mr. Zero fucking tolerance, you fakes at your fun. My tongue's replacing the gun. My toleration is none. Fucking buster and a bitch.
Or the laid-back, fun-filled street anthem entitled Change of Pace, featuring Ghost.
This is something to bump as a gift to the haters. So turn it up loud just to piss off your neighbors. And if you out rolling, you be getting a ticket. And if you
straight to the guts, blind to the facts.
Blind to the facts that your mind's in a trap. Blind to the facts that with time we adapt. Blind to the facts of what you don't understand. Blind to the facts by the media scams. Blind to the facts of what you read in a book. Blind to the facts.
Download your copy today of Mr. Zero Tolerance from www.cdbaby.com or go to www.cdbaby.com/cd/bsick2. Download your copy today. Keep the realness in the rap game.
We are anonymous, and you're listening to Maxwell Silverhammer.
Fuck that guy.
And DJ Jerkman.
Yeah, fuck that guy too.
Only on STEM Radio.
Damn, this shit really hurts me.
STIM Radio. STIM Radio.
Oh, yes, bitches. As usual, hour 2, segment 3 of the shit that fucking irks me. And look at Jerkman walking in front of the camera. We're trying to create the illusion that he's not there. And, he does very well by walking in front of the camera and doing whatever the fuck he's doing. So, anyway, that was that. Actually, there was one other thing. Oh, yes, and a startling omission, or admission, confession, whatever, from Jerkman as we were at break. He said, you know you're horny when Shell's voice sounds hot. So the truth comes out. So anyway, yeah, now Jerkman's gonna go home and jack off over Shell. Oh yeah. See, I always knew you liked men, man. So anyway, yes, this is kind of fun. I can talk shit about him, or either that, or well, I guess Jeremy's out of town, so he's got to. Yeah, he's. No wonder he's so horny. Usually he gets some ass at 1 o'clock in the afternoon from Jeremy, or maybe it's about 2 after Jeremy's show. So Jeremy does his show and then he pounds them. I'm not sure. But, anyway, yeah, this is kind of fun. But, all right. So now we're going to jump into the SMJ. I'm not going to have any music tonight because I can't hear it very well. And so we're just going to jump into the SMJ report. So today's SMJ report happened with an ITN driver, actually. Funny enough, you don't, and it wasn't anything major, I mean, the guy's trying to learn, I can see that, but it just shows the ignorance, and again, I'm sorry, but, in this day and age, there should be no room for ignorance, I mean, you can pretty much look up anything you want to know right there and then, so for the fact that you're, assuming right away, and again, this is what, stems from the whole SMJ thing, is that people will assume things, about you and all that. And this is why, and I'm debating whether I should post something else in the in that group, because you know how they take it and they get so worked up and, why you're writing about our sighted, those are our oversighties. Don't talk about them like that. Sighted people don't understand. You can't say that. I'm sorry. That excuse should not exist. especially when you're driving around a lot of blind people and you're working for an organization that caters to people with disabilities and blind people and, just other disabilities as well. So this guy today, when he picked me up, we're talking a little bit, and at one point, I guess we were talking about, illness and the medications and all that, and he says to me, he goes, yeah, you ever seen those, and he stops himself, and then rewinds his tape and goes, you ever heard those commercials where they're saying, if you take this, these are the side effects? And I'm thinking, what, dude, why did you go back and correct yourself? I don't get that. So, and as I was coming to the van, by the way, there's a pole in the middle of the sidewalk. It's short. It comes up to about my stomach or something. But I bumped into it. But no big deal. I bump it on purpose because that's kind of my landmark to figure out where I'm at. And it's sort of an open sidewalk on either side. You have an edge. There's no planters or anything, that you could veer into. It's like just this open sidewalk that's a little bit strange. And so I really don't like that, where there's a drop-off on either side. It's not a big drop-off, but it's just, into the parking lot. It's just a few, like an inch or so, a few inches. But it's enough to, fuck with you a little bit. If you step off the curb, slidey start looking at you. So anyway, I come out and I kind of banged into the pole, and he's like, oh, man, I'm sorry, man. I'm like, dude, that was my fault. That was my thing. Don't worry about it. But yeah, then we get in the van and we're talking, and he says to me, have you seen those? And then he stops himself. Have you heard those commercials where they're talking about, and, I didn't stop him. I didn't correct him or whatever. And I was like, yeah, I know the commercials you're talking about. So later in the ride, he says to me, yeah, he starts talking to me about the Google glasses, which to me, what the fuck do you want Google glasses for? See, this is the thing. Okay, if you're newly blind, maybe you want to know everything that's going on around you at all times. Me, I don't care. I get enough stimulation from everything else. The sounds, the smells, the feels, that kind of thing. So I don't really care about any of that other bullshit. It's just, really, it's sensory overload at that point. When you start, like if I go somewhere and they start describing shit to me, I don't fucking care about all that. I don't want things described to me. And this was the post I was thinking about putting in the blind and visually impaired friends group. But I'm sure that's going to turn into a shitstorm too. I'm not sure. But anyway, yeah, so they, he was like, yeah, you heard about these Google glasses? This guy was wearing them and he was blind, and he walked up and they were telling him the colors of the flowers. And so I'm going, oh, God, So then he said, I guess he bought these flowers that were, red roses or some shit. And he took them to his girlfriend. And when he went to his girlfriend's, the glasses were telling him that she was looking at him, smiling, and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, you know what? I can feel that shit. I don't need a pair of fucking talking glasses to tell me that, someone's smiling at me or someone's happy with what I've done. You can feel emotions. Now, I know newly blind people still think like sighted people, so they haven't been able to hone that skill, because everything to them is vision. Which I understand. You've lost your vision, so, you want to know as much visual shit as possible. Me, I don't live in a visual world, so I don't care about visual stuff, So that would just be fucking annoying. They have a pair of fucking Google glasses telling me, what color things are and what, everything that's going on. Oh, they're smiling now. Oh, now they're walking up the stairs. I don't give a shit about all that. I know that's going on already. I don't need something to tell me what's happening. It's like going to the movie with somebody who just fucking tells you everything blow by blow. And you're just like, shut the fuck up. I need to hear the plot. So, that's the whole deal there. But yeah, he just thought this thing was so amazing that these Google glasses, they tell you this. And I said, you know what? I said, first of all, that's too much. I said, I wouldn't want to know all that bullshit. And I could tell, that, if somebody's happy or what their reaction is when I give them something or, how they are. Believe me, I can feel reactions. And it's funny because people try to cover them up and say, no, I didn't give you a dirty look. What are you talking about? I'm like, yeah, I could tell, by how you spoke. Believe me, I've been blind for 38 years. That's a long fucking time to be blind. You'd think for that long period of time, you'd want to, but you wouldn't care about that stuff. I mean, it's not in your world. So then he's like, really? So you don't care about that? And I'm like, hell no. I said, that's just stupid. And he goes, so you don't care about colors? I said, colors are a way to describe your luggage at the airport. That's it. So, he goes, oh, wow, that's crazy. And he's like, so with all this technology coming out and, all these surgeries and, would you want to have vision? And I said, well, no. And I said, that's, and he's like, really? And I said, dude, I'd have to think of how much regression I would do if, and this is what I try to tell people all the time, and I've had arguments that I've, used this as an example before. I had an argument with somebody one time who was a paratransit driver, and he asked me that very question. If there was a way to restore, and they always say restore your sight. Well, I've never had sight, so how can you restore something that's never been there? So it's kind of like restoring Jerkman's penis. I mean, it's never been there, but you could never add it to him. So and you can't restore Jerkman's penis. It would be giving Jerkman a penis, but Jeremy gives him a penis every day, so it's all good. This is fun. I love this. I can talk shit and he can't say a goddamn thing. so anyway, but no, you can't, and everybody uses that term, restore your vision. It can't be restored. It's never been there. So how can you restore something that's never been there or that I've never had? But a lot of sighted people have trouble getting their head around that concept. So anyway, I was saying, no, I wouldn't want that. I'd have to relearn everything. And, I'd have to adapt to a whole new way of life. And he was like, wow, man, that's pretty amazing, man. That's pretty. So, once I educated him, and so then he goes, I don't mean to be asking stupid questions. And I said, I said, it's fine. I said, I'd rather you ask questions than assume, although he did assume earlier in the ride, as you guys remember, when he said, well, have you seen, heard, I better say heard to the blind guy, because if I say seen, he's going to say, I've never seen before, and have a fucking fit. So, but obviously, that's not the case. But anyway, yeah, it was so amazing to him. And so then he starts asking, and I love this too, when sighted people will ask you questions like, what's it like? Well, I don't know. I've never seen, so I can't tell you what it's like. That would be like me asking you what's seeing is like. You've seen all your life. So you can't compare it to me. You could never effectively describe the way things look. So when sighted people do this fucking dumb shit of, here, fill the block of ice. Okay, that's cold. All right, now fill this fucking hot stove at 350 degrees or whatever. Yeah, that's red. I'm describing colors, aren't I, Jesus-ly? That's all bullshit. So, that doesn't do anything. That's just dumb. It's counterproductive. To you it might make some sense, but to me it makes zero. So, yeah, that's the whole deal there. So when he was like, so he goes, well, what image do you get when you get a tree? And I'm thinking, well, I don't get an image. I get a feeling. When you say the word tree, I get what a tree would feel like. Like if you touched a tree. But I would never get a visual image of a tree because I've never seen a tree. I've never seen. So, trying to bridge, there's a whole gap in the language, between sighties and blindos. It's just what it is. Now, someone newly blind can probably do that a little better. There's where they would come in with something like that. But, it's like calling tech support, trying to explain to somebody at tech support that you use, screen reading software. They have no fucking clue what you're talking about. So that was my my SMJ for the day. But I just thought it was funny that he was so ill-informed about this shit. And like I said, his whole thing with, wouldn't I want to see images? And, again, sighties, we don't, I'm not going to speak for every blind person, but I'm going to speak for myself as a blind person. We don't care what visual shit's going on. It's visual. It's not part of our world. You're just telling us shit that's unnecessary. It's unless we ask you, what does this say? Or what does this look like? So if we ask you, fine, tell us. But if it's something that's unnecessary and you feel the need to describe it, see, I think a lot of sighted people think we want things to make us see. We don't want to see. We know we can't see. We want to function. That's the difference. So, and I guess, I don't want to speak and be the voice for every blind person, every blind, obviously, because there's newly blind people. There's people that have been blind since birth. But in my case, I don't want to see, I want to function. So instead of developing some glasses that talk to me and tell me every fucking thing that's going on around me, why don't you develop, a car for the blind, something that would make it easier for us to get around, because that's our big bitch right now. That's what we're up against, is the transportation, having to depend on people for rides. It's not as easy for us to get out and get rides and shit like that. So that's the whole deal with that, with the SMJ shit for today. So anyway, it's kind of funny too. I was just looking at somebody's thing on Facebook, and they were talking about, the healthier you are, the the less stressed you are, the more weight you can lose. A lot of times it's not about working out and pushing yourself and fucking yourself up, but it's about just, are you in a happy mindset? Are you stressed? Are you, that kind of shit. And although I guess it could go both ways, that you can lose weight due to stress because you're not eating or something. But for me, if I'm happy, what I found is I lose weight, but when I'm unhappy, I gain weight, which is strange too, because I'm not one of these people that when I'm depressed, I eat. If anything, I have less of an appetite when I'm depressed, but maybe that's it. When I do eat, I power down because my body's like, shit, I'm hungry, motherfucker. It's about time you fed me. So it starts to, sort of hoard food, you know what I'm saying? So that's why you start putting more weight on and shit like that. So that was an interesting post, that I was reading there on Facebook. Speaking of that, god damn, my belt's digging into my gut here. So, which after this, I'm going to go out to the pool. I actually got on the treadmill today, folks. I was on the treadmill, and was on there for about 15, 20 minutes. I only did the, obviously it goes up to 10. I was on 3 for like 10 minutes or so. But after that, I was like, okay, I got to slow it down. But then I did the other, 10 minutes, slowed up. So at the 2. So, that's cool. It's getting back on there at least, so that's kind of good. I guess you got to do that shit occasionally, got to work out. But again, I really wish that I could do something productive, every weekend somehow, like, helping somebody in their yard or helping somebody move or, things like that. Even back when I used to play goal ball, at least you're achieving something. I'm just not into the whole gym, getting on a treadmill and walking nowhere. If I had to walk, again, if I was doing a lot of walking, where a lot of stuff I do now isn't around here. So I can't really do that anymore. But back in the day, when my work was nearby, when I used to go to UNLV, I could walk there. So now I can't do that anymore. It's a little bit different. So, I can't really get my walk in. And it would be nice, like I said, this would be another plus to dating somebody, to have a walking partner or somebody, because you do, when you're with someone, say what you want, but pussy's a motivator, it actually motivated me for the job I have now, funny enough, because when I started there, I started as a volunteer. Well, the reason I even started volunteering there is there was a woman there that worked there at the time that I was kind of digging. So actually not kind of digging, that I was really digging. And, so it kind of motivated me to get off my ass and, start volunteering. And then from there, it led to a job. So, there are some good things about pussy. And, obviously there's got to be to make us behave the way we do. But, like Jerkman always tells me, when I'm with somebody that, he can tell that I'm really into, I actually lose weight, but when I'm with somebody that I'm not happy with, then I gain weight, so that's kind of the thing there. So it'd be good, to have, a walking partner or somebody, to kind of work out with, like Koala and I did that for a while where, we'd kind of keep a log, I'd say, okay, well, I'm going to wake up tomorrow and I'm going to do the treadmill. So then I'd call her and say, hey, I just did the treadmill for 20 minutes or whatever. And she'd say, oh, yeah, well, I just did Pilates for whatever. So, so we kind of had like a little workout regimen, just because we weren't in the same city, we could still do it. So it was actually kind of fun to do that. But, yeah, it's just sometimes you need that motivator, and, it sucks that we need things to motivate us or scare us to do anything. But that's just kind of the bottom fucking the way things work, you know. Sometimes you just need to motivate you. And kind of like, you know, Jerkman needs Jeremy to motivate him to spread his butt cheeks. And, you know, of course, Jerkman always spreads his butt cheeks anyway. But, you know, to actually motivate him to dig his teeth into the desktop, you know. Although now he's got a glass desktop in there, so I don't know, digging his teeth into that might be a little difficult. Maybe he just does like the back of one of those chairs, although those chairs are pretty hard too. So it's not like the good old days where he had the big, you know, the high back stuffed chair that he used to have at the old All Talk, you know. But anyway, I know this is going through his mind of, you fuck. But, yeah, that's kind of fun. But yeah, you definitely, pussy is a motivator. You know, say what you want, but it does motivate you in some ways. Because you're happy, you know. And so, you know, there are good things with relationships. You know, I'm not going to say, I'm going to do a cruise control and say, you know, that dating's, you know, fuck dating, it's bullshit, and blah, 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 blah. You know, there's some good things that come out of it, too. You know, but having said that, you got to find someone you're happy with. You know, don't just settle on something because you think you're going to be happy with them. You know, don't make my mistake. Because you probably pay for it with a promise ring and other dumb shit. So, you know, that's just how that works. But, yeah, so that was the weight thing. And then, of course, I cooked a steak tonight. That was pretty cool, T-bone steak. So I was a Jimby there. Oh, man. And, fuck, you know, like I said, I'm going to run out and swim a little bit tonight. And actually, the other night when I was in the pool, that's what I did. I swam. Oh, you know what, though? There was a chick in the pool with her daughter. So, of course, I'm showing off a little bit, and I'm doing my swimming thing and, you know, trying to, of course, in my fucking Velcroed up fucking swim trunks where my guts popping out of the bitch. But, hey, you know, either way, I'm swimming. I'm trying to do my thing. But, yeah, no, I'm not into the gym, and everybody thinks a gym membership is the be-all, the end-all, and it's like, no, I'm not really into that. So, anyway, I just got on there and did my thing, and like I said, you know, and I'm not trying to be like, yeah, I'm eating better now. It's funny, too, how people get on those kicks. Like Cruise Control got on his for a while with the whole, you know, the liquid diet, and when he was eating all the vegetables, and, oh, I feel so much better. And then I was laughing, of course, as we all remember, because the next week he got really sick. So it's like, that health is doing you really good, huh? But, yeah, people do get on these kicks, and they become very self-righteous, too. Like, oh, well, I feel better because I don't eat like you. Don't you feel very tired and lethargic? Don't you feel like you're a piece of shit sometimes? Well, I don't now because I'm eating grapes and raspberries and fucking nuts and vegetables grown from the earth. You know, I think sometimes eating that health food shit, I bet you there's more GMOs in health food than there are in just bad food. You know, because it's just a way to get you fucking, you know, because it's more expensive. You're spending more money. You know, you're a jarly. So, you know, and people are like, oh, it's health food. Oh, it's going to make me healthier. Oh, yes. So, and everybody's, you know, that's the trend now. Everybody's on the trend. Which, oh, speaking of trends and being trendy and shit, here's something that fucking annoys me. When people talk to me about movies, and not just when they tell me what happened in the movie and they expect me to laugh as hard as they did when they saw it. Oh, we got a commercial, so we're going to be right back, you fuckers, and we'll talk about it then.
He was a young white kid from the suburbs who had it all. Yo, Pops, when you gonna paint my motherfucking Bentley and shit? Sorry, son, I'll get to it. It's just been very hectic down at the office. But he wanted something more. Yo, I wish I could be a G, dog. He wanted to come from those mean streets and be a G like his compadres that he looked up to. Yo, man, If only I could have a gack, dude. I'd bust the most caps out of any G. Then he met Jay Fucker on MySpace, where he learned to rock up that crack cocaine with the dopest of OGs from the street. Yo, we gonna hit the track right now. We gotta slang these hover rocks to these motherfucking fiends, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, dude, can I roll with you, dog? Can I roll in your 6'4"? It's a tale of urban struggle. Yo, you gotta do what you gotta do to survive out in this bitch, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, dude, I can dig it, I can dig it. It was a tale of romance. Hey, dog, you mind if we sleep in the same bed? Gerald Jisenbag and Harold Hardcock give it 2 thumbs up. It's Black Cock Down.
If you're a fan of hip-hop and R&B, join me, the Bruh Ren, for a full non-stop hour of back-to-back slappers. Back-to-back slappers. Where the playlist spans from genres like R&B, soul. R&B, soul.
I love you. You are my girl.
Hip-hop bangers like.
25 sitting on 25 mil, I'm in the building and I'm feeling myself. Rest in peace, Mac Dre. I'ma do it for the bay, okay? Getting paid, we'll holler whenever that stop. My team good, we don't really need a mascot.
Classic throwbacks like.
Well, I'm peeping and I'm creeping and I'm creeping. But I damn near got caught, cause my beeper kept beeping. Now it's time for me to make my impression felt. So sit back, relax, and strap on your seatbelt. You've never been on a ride like this before.
Every Friday night at 9 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. And Saturday at midnight Eastern Standard Time. Only on the Tough Love Show on J&J.FM.
Do you hate women that you can't fuck? Have you tried to rub your dick on some woman's foot and she turned you down?
What the fuck are you doing?
Well, if so, you need Game for the Mentally Lame. That's right. If you're a mental retard and women are trying to kill you with their Google Cheesy Leezy, then this is the book for you. That's right. Learn brand new pickup lines. Hey, baby, you hear my fake? Wanna hit on it?
No, I don't want to sit on your face, but I'd like to split your fucking lip.
Or you can also learn brand new ways of being smooth and romantic with the come-ons. Hey, how about we go have some choochie, and then after that, we can go to the rum runner.
Great, just what I've always wanted. My own drunken alcoholic retard. No thanks.
So see, the proof is in the tard. So get Game for the Mentally Lame for only $19.99 if you call now. Order Game for the Mentally Lame for all tards and those who can't quite get it. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Maxwell Silverhammer of the award-winning Shit That Irks Me. Now, usually, I'm joking and having fun and laughing, but in this case, I'm here to talk about something very serious. There's a phenomenon that's going on all over this country. It's called dimpling or dimple caking. That's right. There are lonely ass, poor, sorry sons of fucking bitches that have no friends, no life, and nothing really going on for themselves. So they need people to talk to. So what they'll do is they'll call your phone. And usually what you'll do, being the heartless son of a bitch that you are, you'll just let the phone ring and roll it into your voicemail. And then you sit there and you contemplate, oh no, I have to call this person back. I have to call this person back, knowing that there's quite the chore that's in front of you. What do you do? If you're the heartless son of a bitch that never calls them back, you need to stop now. You need to call that person back and do your dimple duty. That's right. It is your dimple duty to make sure that this person is happy and content and feels worth. That's right. This person needs to feel like they have some worth. So, do your dimple duty today. Thank you. I am Maxwell Silverhammer with a public service announcement.
Yee! What up, though? It's the undeniable JT Money, a.k.a. the Bitchizer, and you tuned in to STIM Radio with Maxwell Silverhammer and GJ the Jerkman. Heavy that. And guess what? They hate hoes almost as much as I do. So don't sleep on these cats. And speaking of sleeping, don't forget to check out my new single, Hustling, from my new project, Morning Wood. It's going down heavy, baby. And speaking of being out, I'm out like a busted traffic like you already know. Get him, Jay!
Answer me this. When did happen a lot of YouTube hits and hella MySpace friends begin to determine whether a rapper has good music or not? Let's be serious. You wouldn't trust half of these people to wash your car or your dog. But you gonna let these people determine what music you listen to? That's crazy. You gotta be a leader, man, not a follower. And check out that classic album by your boy Black Ice, 5.0 Reasons, 10th anniversary, 1998 to 2008. It's that classic Bay Area G-Funk and mob music. Sample the entire album at cdbaby.com, rhapsody.com, Napster, and iTunes. Or just Google your boy Black Ice. That's Y-A-B-O-Y, Black Ice.
At last, the wait's finally over. Be Sick returns from a long hiatus with a brand new album entitled Mr. Zero Tolerance.
Available for digital download only.
Be Sick's no punches pulled approach on the mic gives listeners what they want, as well as gives the rap game a well-deserved kick in the ass, with such hard-hitting gems as the title track, Mr. Zero Tolerance.
Mr. Zero fucking tolerance, fakes at your fun. My tongue's replacing the gun. My toleration is none. Fucking buster and a bitch.
Or the laid-back, fun-filled street anthem entitled Change of Pace, featuring Ghost.
This is something to bump as a gift to the haters. So turn it up loud just to piss off your neighbors. And if you out rolling, you'll be getting a ticket. And if you
Straight to the guts, blind to the facts.
Blind to the facts that your mind's in a trap. Blind to the facts that with time we adapt. Blind to the facts of what you don't understand. Blind to the facts by the media scams. Blind to the facts of what you read in a book. Blind to the facts.
Download your copy today of Mr. Zero Tolerance from www.cdbaby.com or go to www.cdbaby.com/cd/bsick2. Download your copy today. Keep the realness in the rap game.
We are anonymous, and you're listening to Maxwell Silverhammer
Fuck that guy.
and DJ Jerkman,
Yeah, fuck that guy too.
only on STEM Radio.
Damn, this shit really hurts me.
STIM Radio. STIM Radio.
Oh, yes! Final fucking segment of the shit that fucking irks me. I can't believe we whipped through 2 hours of this shit tonight. So, it's pretty good. Oh, and I heard Jerkman's insults back there, talking shit. So he said my ass is going to be his tomorrow. Well, I guess because Jeremy won't be here, I guess that's what's going to happen. But anyway, so, yes. Here was a thing that, like I said, was a bit annoying. You know, so everybody's into the trendy this and who's in this movie and who's in that movie. I always hate that shit when people ask me, you know, who was in that one movie? Don't you know what I'm talking about? The person that was in this, and I'm like, I don't fucking know that shit. And I really don't know pop culture. To me, I just don't give a shit about it enough. And I had somebody today who was like, you know that one person, they're in that movie, the bald guy, his sister's involved in this, and I'm like, I have no fucking clue who you're talking about. You know, I just don't follow that shit. You know, there's certain key actors and actresses that I might know. But, you know, other than that, I'm kind of like, you know, I don't really, you know, I don't watch a movie because somebody's in it in most cases. You know, I mean, like I said, I have my few favorites, you know, that I'm like, oh, shit, they're dope. You know, they're in that. But, you know, by and large, I'm not one of those people that's like, oh, yeah, who was in that movie? Who was in, you know, I don't follow that stuff, man. And or they're like, yeah, you remember he was in the fucking Desperate Housewives, and you remember the guy I'm talking about, right? And I'm like, no, I have no fucking clue. And then they keep pushing on with it as if you should know, you know. Oh, okay, but you know that person? I'm trying to think who that is. And you're just going, I don't know who that is. I'm sorry, you know. And then of course you have, you know, like people like my assistant. I remember he was like, dude, you're not into pop culture at all, are you? I'm like, fuck no, I've never been into pop culture. Even when I was a teenager, I never just, you know, I liked the shit that I liked, and that was it. You know, I didn't really care about, you know, other people's bullshit and what other people liked. I mean, to me, that wasn't, you know, major for me. So I just kind of did my own thing, walked my own way. You know, I didn't, you know, care about something because everybody else did. And, you know, like when there's the flavor of the month or whatever dumb shit there is, you know, when people get all worked up and juiced for. So anyway, yeah, that's annoying. Or when people start talking to you, they'll ask you who was in them. You know, you'd be like, hey, have you seen that movie, this, that, whatever? And they're like, no, who's in it? And I'm like, well, I don't fucking know, but I like the movie. You know? So, yeah, everybody's concerned with who's in the movie. I don't fucking know. You know, in a lot of cases, I don't know. You know, that's just not my thing. You know, it's kind of like the same thing when Jerkman. I'm sure people ask, you know, I know on the show before when they're like, yeah, you know that one fucking movie with blah, 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 and Jerkman will be like, huh? Who? You know, because, you know, Jerkman's not a movie man. So, you know, or, you know, TV person either. You know, we don't watch any TV or movies. Even today, I had a whole afternoon off. I didn't watch any TV. You know, came home, listened to some music, took a nigga nap, you know, got up, fucking, you know, dicked around a little bit on Facebook, you know, uploaded a video to YouTube, you know, that kind of shit. I don't know. There just seems to be more, I don't know. I prefer to work on my creativity instead of sucking someone else's dick. You know, that's just my thing. You know, I'm not into the whole, you know, it's like how people, you know, like one time I remember, you know, that one girl who was like, I kept telling her to stop forwarding the fucking stupid jokes to me, you know, and she was like, she said to somebody who, how come Max has time to make a Facebook page for his cat, but he doesn't like to read forwards and says he doesn't have time for them? Well, again, you know, I'd rather spend my time on my own creativity, not sucking someone else's dick and go, wow, that was great that you did. Oh, tell me more. You know, it's not my thing. So, which, speaking of which, all right, so I get, and you know, I bitch about this a lot in shitses, but a lot of the Facebook rappers, and, you know, like one guy, he keeps messaging me all the time, and, yo, what up, man? You know, add this page. I'm going to have this page now because there's a lot of haters on my friends list, and, you know, I'm dealing with the hater, and I'm thinking, first, dude, you got to have something to hate to have haters. You know, what should I be jealous of you for? Oh, you're a rapper. Dude, I hate to tell you, but, you know, I think I've got like 300 or so on my friends list that are rappers. I mean, that isn't shit. You know, just because you rap doesn't make you a fucking celebrity. You know, oh, you've got videos on YouTube that have gotten a few hits. You know, that still ain't shit. You know, you'll still live at home with your mom. You still fucking eat frozen dinners. You know, you still work a remedial job at McDonald's or whatever, or you're going to school or just sitting on your ass smoking weed. You know, sorry, dude, I don't hate that. You know, quit making yourself out to be bigger than you are. And it's funny because I always talk about this shit and, you know, nobody ever responds. You know, it's to a lot of motherfuckers' detriment, I think. You know, they probably see my posts and they don't listen to the show. And it's like, well, you know what? If I talk about you and you hear it, you know, then don't get mad. But yeah, that was this guy's whole reason for making a new Facebook page, because there's a lot of haters on his friends list. So it's like, oh, great, I got another page of you. If he sends me another thing, you know, wanting me to add another page, I'm going to be like, nah, sorry, man. You know, I friended your 2 pages now. I've got 2 pages of you on here. And I never understood that, too. Why do people make more than one Facebook page with the same name? You know what I'm saying? That'd be like if I made another Maxwell Silverhammer page. No reason for that shit. You know, I'm good with my page. I have a personal page for my real shit, you know. But, you know, Maxwell's me. You know, that's just my shit and, you know, radio stuff. So I try to keep it there, you know. No reason to make 4 or 5 pages of the same bullshit. But, yeah, these guys, they really, you know, I saw another dude, or these guys will put up their verses, you know, on their status. Sorry, somebody just text messaged me. I'll have to go check who that is later. But, yeah, on their status, you know, and they'll say, you know, like their verse from something. And, you know, like this one guy, had put something up, and everybody's just, you know, his little buddies are like dick lurping him, you know. Oh, man, that's dope shit, dude. I can't wait to hear more from you, man. You're so dopical and flyical and freshco. And it's like, you know, your buddies are the ones that are licking your balls, bro. You know, or they'll put up shit about, you know, oh, yeah, my album release party is going to be had. It's like, nobody's buying your shit but your mom, you know, buying 6 copies of your shit so you can look made, you know. Oh, now Jerkman's text. Is it Jerkman? Oh, wow. Well, I can't run and get it. It's on the charger, man. It's in my room. So fuck off. So it's, yeah, I got it in my room on the charger. So it's, you know, and I'm sure it's something about Gary and ass fucking and Red Lobster and some stupid shit. So, anyway, yeah, so that was, that's the deal there. But yeah, everybody was just like dick lurping this one guy. And, you know, it's their demeanor. These guys really take themselves way too seriously, you know, and everybody's hating on them and, you know, and this and that. And, hey, give me 30 likes and I'll post a verse from one of my, my upcoming album. And it's like, sorry, dude, I don't believe you've got that big of a fan base. That'd be like saying, give me 30 likes and I'll post my radio show here. I don't think people give that much of a shit. I've been doing this shit for 7-8 years, and I don't really give a fuck. It's like, if you listen, you listen. That used to bother me, but now it doesn't. It's like, well, okay, if you dig it, you dig it. If not, well, that's too bad. But yeah, a lot of these guys, they take themselves way too fucking seriously and get way worked up. That's where I think the talk about the haters is coming in. If nobody's liking their status, they got to be hating on them, right? Oh, you're hating on me, man. Or if somebody tells you to stop tagging them in posts, they must be hating on you. Yo, you's a hater. No, nobody's hating on you, dude. You got to have something to hate first. What? You're some fucking local time rapper that's got a few videos up on fucking YouTube and got some shit up on SoundCloud, and you're supposed to be revered? Sorry, man, we're not bound to kiss your fucking ass. And, don't think, oh, yo, I'm going to tag niggas in my status and, everybody's going to go listen to my shit. No, not necessarily. I mean, if it's somebody that, I know and respect and have had on the show, great. But, some of these motherfuckers, man, I've never even spoke 2 words to them. And, they're sending me shit to my inbox and want me to check out their new, it's like, dude, it's pretty bad if you got something up there for, they're always talking like, it's a free download. Well, it's pretty bad if I don't want a free download. I don't want to clutter up my hard drive with your bullshit. And so, yeah, a lot of these guys are too full of themselves, man. And so, or they're inviting you. That's another thing. They invite you to shows in, states and cities where you aren't and you can't get to. And you're like, well, why'd you do that? And there's no point. Whew. So, anyway, but that one guy, I just seeing that today, I just was like, are you serious? So, I friend requested him, and of course he's probably so happy that, he got another person to friend request him. But, when I saw he put up a status and he was like, thanks to everybody who's friend requested me, I think I got rid of the haters. There's probably still a few that did friend request me and because they want to report back, and it's like, dude, nobody gives that much of a shit. Stop fucking making yourself out to be more than you really are. It's kind of like Twitter. If you're not doing anything, you're not trying to promote anything, you don't need a fucking Twitter. You know what I'm saying? Seriously. If you're just your average Joe Blow person that goes to work and comes home and, does their, lives the humdrum life, you have no business having a fucking Twitter. There's nothing, nobody wants to know what you're doing. I don't give a shit that you just went to the fucking store or that you're going to be having dinner with your baby boo or whatever dumb fucking shit you're going to be posting up there. But, yeah, if you're not somebody that's, and I'm not saying, you don't have to be, just somebody who's promoting something. If you're promoting music, great. If you've got some fans, great. But, when you take yourself too seriously, and and start calling people haters because they're not watching your videos, like the one guy that one time gave me shit because I told him that he kept adding me to all these fucking groups and kept tagging me in statuses and shit, and I told him to stop doing it, and he was like, for sure, I'm also going to take you off my friends list because you ain't fucking with my music. Well, there's obviously a reason. Your shit sucks. So, sorry, I can't listen to everybody's shit. Or, I got something the other day, a music submission. I don't do a music show. This isn't a music show. It's actually a talk show. I have some musical guests on because there's some rappers I like, and, I get them on or, sometimes it's a favor for somebody. And I've told people when their shit was whack, if somebody, like that one guy that we had on at one time with his girlfriend or whatever, I found their shit to be pretty whack and lame and whatever, but I said, hey, other people might like it, and your boy asked me to have you on, so here we go, I'm having you on, and it actually turned out cool. But yeah, it's just funny that and it's cool when people thank you for having them on and all that. That's that's good, that's cool. But there are some motherfuckers that don't, and then expect you to have them on again, or they expect you to have them on when they have somebody else on. We know who that is. Specifically. But, yeah, man, I got to be on the interview if you're going to have them on. No. Doesn't work that way, artist to artist. But yeah, that's just funny. But yeah, I don't know if it's that way with because I don't have as many heavy metal dudes on my friends list or any of that other stuff. I got more rap guys. But the rappers, boy, they really take themselves way too seriously. It's like, dude, your shit hasn't even gone platinum yet, and you're talking about, to get my back catalog, like my status, or you can go here, and you're just like, So, but like I said, when I went to this guy's thing today that he had put up, and everybody's like, yeah, man, keep it up, man, keep the good work coming. And I'm thinking, I listened to this guy's music, and I thought it sucked, So sometimes I'm just trying to build up my friends list. That's it. And it's funny because people will add you thinking automatically you're just going to have them on. No, you got to reach out to somebody. You actually got to have dialogue with the person. If you want to come on, I very rarely do I say no to somebody unless your shit's just not radio ready, which there was one particular guy who sent me something that I had to be straight up and say, sorry, dude, that shit sounded like you made it in the bedroom, and he was cool about it, I was, I said, I'm sorry, I don't mean to be insulting, but man, you got to have something that's a little more packageable, So, and I got to get a little more, get a little tougher with people sometimes, and just say, look, this isn't what we're looking for, and don't get your feelings hurt. If you're going to be in this business, then your feelings shouldn't be that brittle. So, which is kind of funny. You think as rappers, you think rappers would be, badass and by the image they portray, but goddamn, sometimes they're the most sensitive motherfuckers I've ever seen. They get their feelings hurt very easily, and so it's interesting. It's kind of a strange thing, but yeah, that's what it is. The age of the Facebook rapper, where anyone can pretty much make a beat on Fruity Loops and put it up on YouTube, and try to get people to like it, and try to And like I said, the thing that really fucking pisses me off is when they tag you in statuses. And, somebody did that yesterday, and it kind of pissed me off. I was like, dude, don't fucking tag me in statuses, please. Yeah, I guess we're going to break. Or I guess we're going to the end of the show, huh? Almost at the end of the show. Okay. So, but, yeah, when they're tagging you in statuses and, then they mention your name in a comment to get you part of the status, and you're just like, man, come on. You really got 24 minutes, 24 seconds. Yeah. Well, shit, G Motors will be in with us tomorrow, and AK and Ocelot, so we will have a full house. And, Jerkman and I will get to rip on each other again. So, anyway, I guess, having said that, we're about to go out. I'm Maxwell Silverhammer, and that's the story there, bitches. See ya!